Hey, what's up guys? It's Scares here. Now our first story for today has to do with someone who you probably remember from a few months ago. Her name is Adriana Chechik. So Adriana is a well-known adult film star and she also is big on Twitch now. But for those of you who don't remember, a few months ago she got into a very scary accident at TwitchCon. She jumped off of one of the platforms during the events and she tried jumping into the foam pit. She was having fun. Well, it turned out that there was very little cushioning in this foam pit and she was jumping onto straight up concrete and she ended up suffering from an incredibly painful injury where she literally needed to get a rod put into her back and she still has to wear a brace on her streams. Now she has been getting better. It's been slow progress, but she's definitely fighting and she's trying to get better. Well, in our last few videos, we've been talking about how streamers are constantly getting swatted. There are people that are trying to swat streamers and send police officers and SWAT teams to their house to scare them, especially while they're live streaming. Well, it looks like these haters and swatters have actually now started to go after Adriana. She tweeted out saying, "Tell me how some internet trolls are going to swat a person whose back is still healing from being broken. Some Twitch chatters are just a whole different breed of small idiots. The cops even know me now. We legit talk about our life because this happens so much." Wow, so that is a really scary situation for Adriana, and it really seems like these people just do not care who they're going after. They're going after everyone and anyone right now. Now, the next story for our video today comes from the huge creator Pokimane. So Pokimane is one of the biggest female creators ever, and sometimes she feels like she needs to speak about some really serious issues and try to make changes. And recently, she spoke up about an issue on her stream that got a lot of people upset. And it sounded like she was saying here that she wants the government to get involved in prosecuting people and holding them accountable for what they do online. This clip was everywhere yesterday. Just watch this.
I would like to facilitate the creation of legislation that holds people accountable for the actions that they do online. I don't know if I should get into the details because it might rattle some folks, but yes. I think there are some companies that I'm going to message, or not companies, organizations that are involved with certain causes. And I'll be like, listen, if you ever need someone to, I'm your girl. Because I think if you want to pass a bill, you usually go in front of a group of politicians and you explain your cause. I'm like, I'll do it. I will do it. I have so many things to say.
Okay, so while there was a lot of people criticizing Pokimane for this, and she was getting a lot of backlash, it sounded like her clip was taken out of context. And when you watch the full stream, she was actually talking about something different here. She was talking about there being some type of prosecution or accountability for people possessing revenge porn.
And I think there's only now starting to become like certain legislation against things like revenge porn or whatever. I've had so many girls message me and they're like, oh, my ex leaked my photos and I feel like I need to disappear off the face of the earth, like I'm so heartbroken, blah blah blah. I think it should be illegal to even have on your phone, on your PC, on your anything, photos of someone that like they don't consent to having. And I think there aren't enough examples of people being punished for that. Like, people spread that shit in high school like it's nothing. Well, I guess, I mean, like, if it is illegal, we need to enforce that.
Okay, so now Pokimane's argument makes a little bit more sense to people because this is a very serious situation. You know, obviously, if one of your partners has photos of you that you don't want shown to other people after you guys break up and they start sharing your explicit photos without your consent, that is very wrong and it's also illegal in many states. But Pokimane is not just upset with people sharing these photos, she's upset with people possessing these photos. And this is what has also gotten other people upset because they just don't understand how the authorities would actually be able to enforce this. There are many comments of people who are confused as to what she actually wants to happen here. Like, does she want the police to look through people's phones after they break up with someone? It seems really far-fetched to have this enforced.
They send you a phone. Say, I do not consent to you having the wiggly in your possession. Delete now or FBI will break down your door. Well, no.
But at the same time, you know, she does bring up a big conversation here that a lot of people are talking about. And it looks like Pokimane herself wants to get involved with this and actually push for legislation. And the next story for today's video comes from a YouTuber that you probably have not heard of unless you were on YouTube 6 years ago while we were still making these videos. His name was Unstoppable Luck. Okay, this guy was a well-known Minecraft trolling channel. He was huge on YouTube, okay, probably one of the top Minecraft channels back in the day. We remember a lot of his content. And over 5 years ago, he just completely left the internet. He stopped posting to YouTube, he stopped posting anywhere, and people are wondering what exactly happened to him. His community was extremely upset about this, and there was even rumors going around that he had actually passed away or something horrible had happened to him. And over the past few years, we have been hearing these rumors left and right. Well, last week, out of nowhere, Unstoppable Luck uploaded his first video in over 5 years. This video is titled Hello Again, and he says here that he was not able to make videos for over 5 years because he got into a horrible accident. He was rear-ended to the point where he was in so much pain that he could not upload videos. It even took him years just to be able to start doing normal things again, and it even sounds like this is still heavily affecting him to this day.
The reason I haven't been able to upload was in 2017 in June, I got rear-ended, and although a rear ending from a vehicle doesn't sound all too bad in terms of how much worse a vehicle accident can be, you know, it's affected me over this whole period. It has not been a very glamorous 5 years at all, to say the least. I don't know if it is decided that I'm able to come back. I think it's safe to say it can't be in the capacity that I was before. So I'm not the best I've been, but I'm on track again to be better. And if I do come back, I need that to be kept in mind. I need people to be patient with me. I need people to, I guess, emphasize with my situation.
So this story really makes you think, like, sometimes a little thing that happens in your life can completely change the course of it. And this does seem very sad that this happened to him, but also a lot of his fans are happy that he's finally back and he's going to start making content again for them as long as he feels up for it. Okay, so the next story we have for you guys comes from MrBeast. So MrBeast is obviously growing at an insane rate on YouTube right now. I mean, just in the last month, he's been by far the most subscribed YouTuber, gaining over 3 million subscribers. Well, for those of you who don't know, ever since Elon Musk bought Twitter, he's been talking about trying to get more YouTubers on board to start uploading content to Twitter. He wants to compete with YouTube, with Twitter as a platform, and he wants to start having YouTubers move from YouTube onto Twitter full time. And the top creator on YouTube, MrBeast, tweeted this out last week. He says, "Can I be the new Twitter CEO?" Now this tweet made over 1 million likes, and Elon responds saying it's not out of the question. MrBeast then tweeted out saying, "My first order of business is to make it to where creators actually want to post videos on Twitter and not just link to other platforms." And Elon Musk responds almost immediately afterwards saying, "I couldn't agree more." So clearly Elon Musk is looking at MrBeast as a legitimate candidate to run Twitter. He's immediately responding to MrBeast every time he's tweeting about this. We don't know if there's any talk behind the scenes, but who knows, in the next few months, MrBeast might really be one of the top guys at Twitter, and he might be bringing over creators to move to Twitter full time to start posting videos. And there are so many YouTubers right now that are giving MrBeast their opinions as to how Twitter should be run as a platform to get them to move. And our next story comes from the massive creator KSI. So I'm sure many of you know that KSI has a big fight with Dylan Dennis in January. It's coming up in less than a month. Now, Dylan is a well-known and respected MMA fighter, and recently Conor actually decided to defend Dylan on Twitter. So Conor McGregor was on Twitter the other day defending Dylan Dennis, and KSI decided to respond to Conor saying, "I'm sorry, but I'm about to do some serious damage to your boy." So KSI was just doing a little bit of trash talk to hype up the fight here, and Conor himself actually decided to respond to KSI on Twitter. He says, "Brother, you're a friendly little nerd. I don't care. Dylan should be back doing MMA if he's doing this little nothing burger match with you. I couldn't care less about this genre of boxing. I am so sorry. Have a good one." So this is one of the first times that we've seen Conor actually respond to KSI directly here, and not only is Conor calling KSI a friendly little nerd, but he is also trashing all of YouTube boxing. He says here that he could not care less about this, and this is interesting because it sounds like Floyd was very invested in this, and he wanted to obviously make a lot of money off of this hype from influencers. But Conor has a completely different perspective on this. He could not care less about influencer boxing. And KSI responded to Conor saying, when you see what I do to Dylan Dennis on January 14th, then you will care. So he's continuing to hype up his fight. Logan Paul responded to Conor saying, genre of boxing? Boxing is boxing. I'm a YouTuber and I still did more damage to Floyd than you. Digi also responded to Conor saying, I gave Floyd Mayweather a black eye. Did you? Now our next story for today is huge. Okay, this is one of the biggest scandals that we've seen on YouTube this year. This comes from Logan Paul. So for those of you who don't know, Logan is one of the top YouTubers and people love his videos. He has a very successful podcast, but recently he's been called out in a massive scandal. So last year, he actually promoted a new NFT project called CryptoZoo. This is supposed to be a game that was involving NFTs where you could hatch eggs. And on the surface, this sounded like an interesting idea, and a lot of Logan's fans and viewers bought into this big crypto project that he had, and they decided to invest a lot of money because they thought maybe they would end up making money off of this. And many people were very interested in the whole idea of an NFT game where you can breed, collect, and trade different animal NFTs. So at first, this sounded like a very interesting idea, but it turned out to be a huge scam. And many of Logan's fans that invested in this lost all of their money. Keep in mind that some of them invested tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars into this project because they really believe what Logan was saying here, and they feel completely ripped off, and apparently the game itself never actually came into fruition. And this big CryptoZoo scandal was exposed in a 3-part series from the YouTuber CoffeeZilla. Now I'm sure many of you watched this series already. It is the biggest series on YouTube right now, and CoffeeZilla really went all out in this investigation. I mean, he spoke with so many people involved here, and he tried to get every side to the story. He spoke with Logan Paul's manager. He spoke with a reporter about one of the lead developers of the project. He spoke with many of the people associated with this project, including influencers that apparently had ripped off other people as well. And by the end of this investigation, it sounded like there was many people involved in CryptoZoo that were completely in the wrong.
What I know for sure is that no one was innocent, although there are certainly shades of guilt you can argue about, because of course, not everyone did sell. You could look at that as the most important thing. Logan Paul didn't sell. Jeff, Logan's manager, didn't sell. But does that make them innocent? Well, I don't think so, because they never built a game they promised people. Logan Paul specifically got millions of dollars spent on this game on the promise of the technology that he never built, that his team never built. And he never addressed the failure except to blame his developers who weren't paid. And you could say he promised to work backwards to fix it, but then never did. But at the same time, it's clearly not just Logan's fault either.
So after this whole NFT project was exposed by CoffeeZilla, what did Logan Paul himself do? Well, it looks like he decided to block a lot of the YouTubers criticizing him for this big scandal. There have been multiple YouTubers over the past few days that are saying here that they were blocked by Logan after they talked about this whole situation. Not only that, but it looks like Logan Paul has started disabling comments on some of his social media posts, like on Instagram. So this has led to people being even more upset with Logan because they feel like he should just really admit his mistakes or talk about the situation so people know exactly why this happened and why so many people got ripped off. He tweeted out saying, while I generally appreciate CoffeeZilla's creative genius and exceptional work ethic, I mean that this one is simply not true. When appropriate, all the bad actors will be exposed, explained, and held fully accountable. I'll speak further on Impulsive January 3rd. So Logan claims here that he is going to reveal the real truth of this whole situation on his podcast January 3rd. Now, shortly after Logan tweeted about CoffeeZilla here, Coffee noticed that someone who says that their email is from Logan Paul's website and says their name is Logan had actually started to donate to CoffeeZilla for his Patreon. If you don't know, on CoffeeZilla's Patreon, he shows some hidden videos on this whole situation. He talks with other people who are involved, other people who got scammed. So many people find this really shady. They don't know if Logan's group is trying to look into CoffeeZilla and seeing what exactly is being said here. CoffeeZilla tweeted this out. He says, I can't reply to Logan Paul directly because I'm blocked, but it's pretty wild to refuse to talk to me for months, refuse to address the investors for a year and a half, and then when caught, Logan says that he's going to expose the bad actors. Logan also just tweeted out tonight saying that he has now finally invited CoffeeZilla onto his Impulsive podcast. So obviously there's mixed opinions on this. People are happy that Logan is finally willing to talk to Coffee, but they're also wondering why Logan is now asking CoffeeZilla to come on his podcast after refusing to talk to him for months. Now, CoffeeZilla responded to Logan saying he's not going to fly out to Logan just to be on his podcast for New Year's, but he says that he will actually live stream it, or he'll even fly Logan down to him. And Coffee also says here that if Logan agrees to do a live stream, then he will donate 100% of the money made to people who lost money on Logan's NFT projects. So this whole situation is heating up right now, and it looks like we might come to a climax soon where Coffee will finally be able to talk to Logan about this. And we'll definitely keep you guys updated on what Logan says on his podcast Impulsive on January 3rd. Obviously, he's going to tell his side to the story. And that's it for our video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you later. Peace.